creepy star in It Cuts Deep. We are really excited to talk about the movie. Listeners, you got to watch this movie. It's a lot of fun. It's funny. I'm like cringing the whole time, and something's building up at the end. And yeah, it's definitely a must watch. Nick, how you doing, my friend?
Doing good. Yeah, thanks for having us.
Oh yeah, thanks for coming on. Uh, Great job with the film. If I'm not mistaken, is this your first main, I guess, big feature film directing?
Yeah, so this will be my debut feature as a director.
It was a beautifully shot. I loved it. I loved the casting. Obviously, Charles, you did a really good job with your character Sam,
Thanks.
and just the chemistry that was there with Ashley and I'm sorry, Quinn Jackson, who plays Ashley, and John Anderson, who plays Nolan, the three stars of the movie. But Nick, where did you shoot this at? I mean, I'm trying to like point out, and I'm looking at your background. I'm in Jersey, and I work in the city, and I understand that this is your stomping grounds here. But are you? Did you shoot in New York?
So I live in Brooklyn, but we actually shot, and I'm originally from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. So we actually
Right.
went back and shot it in Massachusetts.
Oh wow, no kidding. All right. Yeah, I was up there in Wellfleet not too long ago, and I got
Oh,
to
cool.
tell you, the
Yeah,
best lobster rolls you'll ever find in your life.
yeah,
uh, I got to ask, how did this? Where did this come from? Where did this idea come from?
yeah. So the original idea, I was preparing to propose to my wife, and I got this really deep fear. And it terrified me. And I was like, "Oh, this is the perfect jumping off point for a horror film."
I that it pretty much sums it up. I mean, Charles, you play Sam, who I guess is not ready to commit to the beautiful Quinn Jackson Ashley, and
Yes.
she's got a big secret to tell, and you're keeping a big secret, and you come from a comedic background. What made you go in this direction and taking this role?
Well, the script I thought was really, really funny.
Hmm.
I thought that this, I feel like this movie is kind of like 70, it's like 70% a comedy film to me.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I think that a really important part of it is that it's really, really funny until it's not. So it didn't feel like that much of a departure for me when Nick sent me the script.
Hmm.
It didn't really, I didn't like read it and think like, oh, I can't do any of this. Like, this isn't me. I was kind of like, oh, yeah, this is perfect and this is cool. And it kind of like felt almost perfect.
Are you thinking maybe in the future you'd get a little bit more hardcore into the horror world, like something like Nick produced Uncle Peckerhead, which we really love this movie, and that movie has got the comedy vibe to it, but then it gets really hardcore in
Yeah.
the gore. Is that something
Yeah.
you do you want to be in that gore anytime soon?
Um,
Telling dick jokes, of course.
yes, telling dick jokes. Do I want to be in the gore? If Nick was directing it, I would do it, yeah. But if I'm being totally honest, the gore, if I'm not super into gore. I
Hmm.
like the more psychological horror, like this movie and like kind of like Get Out and
Hmm.
like Invisible Man. I like those a little bit
But
more.
you loved it when you had the whole neck brace on and you got stat. Yeah, spoiler.
That's Yeah, can we say spoilers?
Of course. I mean,
Okay.
it's up to
Yeah.
you guys. It's your movie.
So
all,
you,
all,
Um,
all two of our listeners are going to be spoiled.
right.
I'm just kidding.
I will say that it actually was really fun the days that there was a ton of blood on set. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Thanks for blowing up my spot, Nick, and for calling me a liar in front of everybody on the Zoom. Thanks, Nick.
well,
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Yeah, I would do it. I mean, I'd do anything.
Well, you did play the role really well, and I was like in your shoes because you know Nolan, John Anderson's character, he comes around and he's like you get really uh, jealous in a sense, and we don't know what's going on, but we've seen so many horror movies, so there's something buried there,
Yeah.
and it's like you're cringeworthy Like I'm like, oh God, you know.
Yeah.
But you did your role so well. Listen, I'm going to pass you guys on over to Muse. She's got a few questions to ask, and then we'll do the round robin here. So take it away, Muse.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with. Well, actually, you both can answer if you both feel froggy to do so. So I'm gonna start with Nicholas, and I always ask this question. I swear it's my stock question, but I got to know because I find it pretty interesting. What were the most challenging scenes to film during the production of It Cuts Deep? And I was gonna ask Charles, what his most difficult scene was as well. But go ahead and go first if you would like.
The most challenging scene was actually probably the finale. We shot at the end of the first week, and it was extremely cold.
Yeah.
And we were just outside for 6 hours at night for 2 days in a row, and it was just punishing, while also trying to make sure that it was absolutely perfect because of the finale. So it's like I have to make sure we get everything perfectly. So that's probably the toughest bit.
And there was a lot of like physical stuff in the finale. It's a lot of like me and Quinn wrestling. So we were like rolling on the ground and like rolling on the grass, and the grass was like wet, and we were like soaking wet, and then there was blood, so we were covered in blood, and it was freezing cold, and it was really late at night, and we were screaming at the top of our lungs, and we were in a residential neighborhood, and it was hard.
I know. It looks like you're out in the middle of nowhere, but I guess not. You guys really pulled that off. I really thought you were out in the country. I'm thinking, nobody's hearing this, and apparently not. So yeah, I bet I can just imagine.
I went around and told the neighbors that we were doing it. So
okay, I mean, that would have been kind of cool though. Like they're filming a movie out in my neighborhood. That'd been kind of neat.
Well, John and I saw a ghost.
What? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I gotta hear this now.
Yeah, we saw we saw a ghost. We saw John and I, the actor who plays Nolan. We were walking back from set, and in one of the houses in the front window, I saw a woman just watching us walk. And I couldn't really see her face because she was kind of in silhouette, but I could see that she was staring at us. And so I waved to her because I was a little nervous. We're shooting this movie in these people's neighborhoods. We're screaming at 3 o'clock in the morning. I didn't want them not to like us or call the cops on us or anything. So I waved to her, trying to be very friendly, and she didn't wave back. And she didn't even move. She just like stood there staring at us. And John saw this as well. And because I remember John was like, wow, the neighbors are really mad at us. And then we kept walking, and then I told Nick about it, and I told him what house it was. He said nobody lives in that house.
Oh, creepy. I'm like, this just went from a funny type of situation to, okay, let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Absolutely away from that house.
And like, not only did no one live in that house then, but I think you said something like no one had lived in that house for
it was like a summer rental house, so there's only ever people there for 3 months during the summer.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was very weird because the woman was just staring at us and not moving. She was already kind of creepy in the way that she was silhouetted and not moving, and then not waving to us. It was a very bizarre situation. And then I really do think it was a ghost.
Well, it sounds like something fish. Well, yeah, if nobody was living there, who was it? Exactly. Yeah, it definitely, I would have thought the same thing as well.
Yeah.
Okay, swinging back to Nicholas really quick. Were there any scenes when you finished filming that you ended up having to kind of like, I guess you could say, leave on the cutting room floor that you wished you could have kept in the film, or did you get everything in that you wanted?
Surprisingly, there's only actually one deleted scene that really isn't that significant. It's really just Charles looking at the baby book more. So really, everything we wanted is in the movie. But if you want to see the deleted scene, it will be on the DVD.
I loved when he was looking at the pictures because it's definitely Charles, and I thought there were such great pictures. It was cool to see Charles when he was young. I love that. I love that there were actually, real pictures. Definitely.
What's fun
is
you want to tell her?
You want to tell her?
I'll say it.
Funny story.
So Charles's mom had been burned on another shoot before and didn't want to give Charles that many photos, and then I realized that Charles and I look similar as little kids.
Oh wow!
All the photos of him as a baby are actually me, and then as he gets older,
what? I thought it was Charles. Okay. Wow,
yeah.
I love that. I love that you guys did look alike. because I thought for sure it was all Charles. Absolutely. I love it. That's great.
That's funny.
That
Yeah,
is
I had done another shoot where I had to bring a bunch of pictures of me from high school, and then the production manager took a really long time giving them back to my mom, and she was like, "I'm never giving these out again."
my mom's like that with our pictures too. She's like, "Oh, these are ours."
Right.
All right. So I'm gonna Charles, I have got to ask you this because I'm a huge fan. What was your involvement? It was back in 2016 where you worked on Joe Pera Talks You to Sleep. I'm a huge fan of Joe. What was your involvement with that? Because I think he is great. I love him, and I wanted to know how you got involved with that.
Well, I did stand up with Joe in New York. We
Okay.
started around the same time, and then I co-hosted a show with him in Brooklyn for like 4 years. And then he was doing the Talk You to Sleep, and he needed someone to do some voiceover. So he just asked me to do it because we worked together a lot, and we're close friends.
I'm really into ASMR. I don't know, not ASMR, of course, to get to sleep. And
Right.
for anybody that doesn't know what that is, it might sound a little strange. I'm like, what is it? But I actually came across him when I was looking for different ASMR videos, and that he actually popped up, and I actually looked up some of his other stuff after that because I was like, he's really funny, actually. So I thought that was really cool that you were involved in that as well.
Yeah, and I'm actually really surprised at how many people actually use it to go to sleep.
His voice is so calming. He's just talking about the most random of things, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And it's just you're like lulled right to sleep by his calm demeanor. You know,
That's a lie. Muse doesn't even sleep. She's like a vampire.
well,
Like when I'm
during the
waking
day
up
I
at 5 in
do.
the morning, she's awake. So that's a lie.
I don't sleep when everybody else does. All right. Well, I have so many more questions, but I don't want to like take too much of everybody's time. But I think you guys are great. The film was hilarious, and also really, really a lot of cringy moments there as far as like, really tense. And really, I really enjoyed it. It was a fantastic film. I can't wait for everybody to see this. And when you said, about, so I was definitely not wanting to give any spoilers away because there's some great, great twists in the film as well. So, I'm going to hand you over to Chris, the creature, and I know he's got some great questions for you guys.
Cool.
Hey, good job, both you guys, and also Ashley, Quinn, and John. When you see them, tell them that we couldn't have been more impressed. There's one line in this movie. I'm probably the only one who remembers it, but I'm kind of strange. But Charles, when you said, "I'm ready to be one of those couples that jogs," the couples that everybody hates. And I said, yes, that's right. It reminded me of the Neighbors and Chevy Chase's Christmas Vacation. They had there was
Margot and I forgot the
Yeah.
guy's name.
and I said, you're right. You meet couples like that and you hate them. You don't know why, but you just do.
They're very annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because when this movie is called a comedy, I said to myself, no, it's not. What's funny here is stuff like that, the real stuff that we all can identify with. And I think the same thing with horror and comedy is it's got to be a lot of element of truth to it for it to succeed. So well done. Nicholas, I'll start with you. The scene we forget after the first 5 minutes of the movie, the opening scene, and then of course we're reminded of it later on. But when I was watching that scene, it's the scene that opens the movie, just the way the character was dressed, I was thinking, this is Michael Myers. Were you influenced at all by the Halloween series in that opening scene?
Yeah, as a flashback, I don't know, I thought it'd be really cool, nice feature for it to feel kind of like it's like a memory of a Friday the 13th Halloween movie. So I really wanted it to feel that nostalgic slasher, 80s slasher.
That was neat, and of course, because of Charles and Quinn's performance, you forget about that scene almost right away because it's almost like the two straight men have arrived, and you've got reality, and you've got almost a sitcom type relationship back and forth between these two, and they did such a terrific job. And Charles, I mean, you come on the movie with your, well, not fiance, the woman who wants you to be a fiance, And you look like a good guy. She looks like a good gal. But boy, is it awkward. You have so many awkward conversations, and you're thinking, and no offense, Charles, she could do a lot better than you. And in the movie, I'm saying, not in real life. In real life, I'm sure she has a high nasal voice and is annoying, and you are just effervescent. But your performance, the awkward conversations you have. She wants to talk about one thing, you change the subject well. You're delving into humor. At times, she doesn't want to be humorous, and you're doing that all to avoid this, I love you, will you marry me type thing that obviously she wants. And that had to be difficult because you had to be, I would guess, on your toes. And it was almost like it was ad-libbed. Because this dialogue is stuff you'd hear at the next table over at a restaurant. Did you approach this movie as a comedy? I know you said you thought it was 70% comedic, but by the time the movie's over, it's quite a bloody horror movie. No spoilers here, but I think that it sounds like the comfort level with comedy helped you through this movie.
Yes, it did. And I wouldn't say I approached it completely as a comedy because it's not like a straight up it's not like a SNL movie or something like that. But I definitely, Quinn and I approached our relationship and we tried really hard to make it as realistic of a relationship as possible. And you'll be happy to know that after our first table read, I turned to Nick and said, is anyone going to believe that Quinn would ever date me? She's so much better looking than me. So I had that thought as well. And Quinn and I both kind of like, also, by the way, I've never said that to Quinn, so I'm glad she's not here. But that was we did take that into consideration. Like, why would she care about this guy who makes a bunch of bad jokes? She seemingly can do a lot better. So we tried really hard to make it seem like there was something redeemable to my character. And I think in order to do that, we had to make it feel like a real relationship. And so that's kind of like what we did. And I think most of the stuff is not improvised. I think a lot of it is just probably taken word for word from Nick's actual conversations with his now current fiance. For the years and years he avoided having to propose to her. And so it was easy. When you got the guy who actually said it right there.
Well, Nicholas, I hope your proposal had better results than the one that happened in this movie.
It didn't. He killed his wife.
She's in the closet in 3 pieces.
She's in the closet and she's in the freezer. I mean,
yeah. Nicholas, one thing that I really liked what you did, it's sort of like a fake in football. You introduced the psycho. You introduced John Anderson as Nolan. As soon as you see him, you're thinking, oh, that this guy is a psycho, and you just figure he's got a machete. You just figure he's got he's going to kill his wife. I mean, he just exudes psycho. And when Charles sort of starts changing, we're all assuming that it's because the psycho is now entering his life and he's scared and he's protective. And boy, I tell you did one heck of a job at a eventual twist that'll come up. How easy was it to cast John? Because I expect to see him in another movie as a machete-wielding maniac who eats people.
It was actually really easy to cast him. So Charles had known him before, and Charles was like, when I told Charles that the original guy we had cast dropped out, Charles was like, oh, I know the perfect dude who is very handsome and very weird.
Yes.
So he came and auditioned, and him and Charles ran lines, and it was just like, it was absolutely perfect from the beginning. Like, we obviously shaped it and developed it more, but from the start, it was just clear. John is so good at kind of riding that line of seeming dangerous and innocent at the same time.
Well, good job. I when Muse asked you the question about the toughest scene to film, I really love ambitious, totally wild endings. Uncle Peckerhead had something like that, but it was no surprise to me what your answer was. Well done, both of you. And I could, like Muse, I could ask a whole bunch more questions. I'll stop with what is your definition of love and just hand it over to Omar.
Welcome, guys. And Chris, you always ask that question. You never give anybody a chance to answer it. I mean, come on.
Nick, do you want to answer that, Nick?
Go for it.
Take it away, Chris.
I mean, it involves the movie, so go for it.
No,
Nick?
you don't have to answer that, Nick. Don't take that.
Okay. Let's
You guys did
start
sign
over.
you guys did sign the waiver before, right? Before we got on the show. Okay, I'm just making sure. Yeah.
You never know what to expect here. So let's start over, and I'll start with you, Nicholas. I think Charles kind of answered this question, but I think I want to hear more from you and more your answer since you wrote and directed the film. Comedy versus horror. What do you think when you wrote it? Were you leaning more towards comedy, more towards horror, or what direction were you going?
I approach every scene with trying to balance out both of them. So even the scenes that don't have any like outright genre moments, I still wanted them to make them at least tense. And so I was always aiming for kind of a 50-50 split when I wrote the movie. I'd say with the amount of like crazy set pieces, it is probably more comedy than horror. You might call it a comedy horror instead of a horror comedy. But I think they just go together, and horror comedies have always been my favorite and just are really fun to make.
And then since you wrote and directed it, did you feel that since it's your first major film, did you feel it was easier doing both so you can make the changes that you needed to do and not have to rely on anybody else and it was just on you, or did you find that you would have liked to have a partner doing everything?
Well, it was nice working with Charles and the whole cast to like we really try to focus to find the balance on set. And I think we really worked together on trying to find that balance. And also we would do scenes at like a total big range. Like we would do them straight, do them kind of like in the middle, and then we would do crazy takes. I think the crazy takes are the ones that probably made it more into the film. But like, so I always made sure that we had the option, if we had to scale it back in the edit, that we could always kind of try to scale it back a little bit.
So, and I think viewers may have asked us if there was any question. You did a pretty good job. You shot everything, and you didn't really take anything out. So obviously, was there any other challenge being the first time besides piecing everything together?
I'd been developing the film for like probably 2 years before we shot, so I felt like I had a good grasp on it. Since it was a low budget shoot, it was just super fast. So I guess the biggest challenge was trying to grab everything as fast as possible. But luckily I was shooting with a DP I've been working with for like 10 years. And we were just able to, Kyle Kelly, we were able to just, we both know what we want and are able to just really run and gun through it really fast. So it worked out.
And I'm always curious about endings. Was that the original? Is that always the ending that you had set forth, or did you make some changes once you kind of got shooting and the characters came to life?
Actually, it was always the original ending. I would say the first 20 minutes of the movie changed a lot constantly. And for some reason, that first 20 minutes was actually the hardest part of the movie to kind of lock down. That ending was kind of always there, and it was just the most fun part to write as well.
Well, the endings are always fun, and to us horror fans, that's when you really get to the horror of the movie. So that's always the fun part for us. So, Charles, you do a fabulous job in the movie. You said you're into comedy, but your character is also strange. So, do you feel that your character was just being funny the entire time, or were you trying to be strange as well, or what was that balance going on there?
Yeah, I was trying to be funny for a while, and then I definitely was trying to be strange. I think the arc, like when we first started shooting it, I saw the arc as like funny and kind of annoying, kind of cringy, into very strange, kind of cringy, into just all cringe, what is going on into murder. So definitely was trying to be very weird in certain parts for sure.
And being a some an unusual character and so forth, how'd you get along with your fellow castmates there, and how did the chemistry there work together? um, I don't think you said it, but have you worked with them before, or was it just all as the movie went on?
I would say that everybody, cast and crew, ended up getting along amazingly on this, in like a way that what I had never really seen before. We all kind of came together in a really great way, and like Quinn and I, we lived together, um, in like this little Airbnb that was like far away from everybody else, and so we really started to like act like a couple because we had to like get to set together, and then we had to get home together, and then we'd have to like be like, oh, did you want to go grocery shopping? Like we actually ended up having to do this coupley stuff, and it actually, I think it really helped us and our relationship on screen. And we even like got into little fights with each other because there was like one night where I wanted to go home early and she wanted to stay a little longer, but we could only get one ride from set back home, so she had to like leave early, and then she like got all mad at me, and I was like, what is happening? We're like getting into like a real couple fight. And then we like talked it out like a real couple, and then I remember the next day we were like, that was probably cool that we got into that fight. That was probably a good thing for the movie. So we kind of just like took on, as far as like how we started to like come together as like a cast and how we work together, I think we actually started like taking on the actual roles, because then John Anderson is who I've worked with before. He's just a total weirdo, and Quinn and I were working so hard to like have this realistic relationship, and then we just dropped John in the middle of it, and he's just being a total psycho. And on screen, I think like even when you watch the movie, you can tell that me as Charles as an actor is like, I don't know what to do with John, and I think that kind of translates to Sam being like, I don't know what to do with Nolan. So we just kind of took on the roles in real life, and then I killed John.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah, that's why he couldn't be here today. He's in my closet and in my freezer, right next to Nick's.
You guys must have a
Fiance.
big Sub-Zero fridges, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, we have big. We
Yeah.
had to after we killed people. We were like, we got together. We were like, what are we gonna do? And we bought big freezers.
But those Texas chainsaw freezers.
Yeah.
Killing everybody to make a film. That's nice.
Yeah.
So speaking of killing, there obviously later in the film you get to more action scenes and so forth. How much preparing, how much prep did you do to get those scenes down right? Were you ready for the action and obviously the gore that came?
Yeah, we were very prepared for everything actually. I did way more preparing for the comedy stuff. Like before all the comedy scenes, I was like practicing and stuff like that. And then when the action stuff happened and when like the real acting stuff happened where I had to like go psycho, I was like, man, this is really what I should have been preparing. But we prepared. We rehearsed a lot beforehand, and we had really good effects guy. These like two guys came in there. I think they're from Buffalo, and they just had like they did a really good job with like the blood, and so here's a spoiler coming. I get stabbed in the neck, so they made a whole fake bottom half of my face, including like my little beard hairs, and it like matched the rest of my beard, and they like glued it onto my neck, and then they put this like blood squirt thing in the fake neck, so when I get stabbed and the blood comes squirting out, and there was like a guy off camera like operating it, and they were amazing, and it was great. And I hope that's not giving away too many secrets, Nick.
It's fun. Yeah, my guy's name's Jared Balog, special effects.
But you obviously very much enjoyed all that. I guess some people don't really enjoy it, and other people really really love it.
No, it was really fun actually. It was cool. It's cool to just have blood squirting out of your neck.
For fake, of course, for fake.
Yeah, fake blood. Yes. Please don't come stab me in the neck, please.
I'll just end on this. There were a lot of great scenes in the movie. One of the scenes that I appreciated was the Santa Claus scene, where a certain character's there in the bushes and basically comes forth, and you can argue whether he's there or not. But that was definitely a nice added touch and definitely extra creepiness that we all needed. Anything you want to say about filming that scene?
That was actually one of the last scenes we shot, and yeah, it was really actually smooth and fun. And one of my favorite bits in the movie is Charles just screaming like a psycho into the woods. I think it's just so funny.
Yeah, that's definitely like a scene that I didn't realize how crazy I am until I saw it on screen, and I was like, okay, Sam has really lost it, and like here comes Ashley like coming down the stairs after Sam's been acting kind of weird for a few days, and now he's just like screaming at nothing into the woods. And I really felt for Ashley. Like I was finally in Ashley's point of view once I watched it and was like, oh yeah, Sam's gone. Sam's lost it.
Awesome guy's job, and I'm gonna turn it back to Ken.
Great questions all around, guys. So, one of our bread and butter on our show, Where the Scary Things Are, is we like to put our guests through a little trivia challenge. It's called the Deathly 13. Now, it's 13 random horror-related questions from movies and whatnot. And myself, Chris, and Horo, we have no idea what these questions are. Only Muse knows. And she's going to ask you guys. You guys get a couple lifelines here, though. You can select at any time one of us, Chris, myself, or Horo, if we know the question. So you can use all three of us. You can ask for multiple choice. And you can postpone. You can postpone to the end. Maybe you guys have on the tip of your tongue, or you want to secretly Google it real quick. We're watching you on camera. So yeah, Muse, go ahead and take it away.
All right. So you guys just want to jump right in?
Let's jump right in. Yeah.
All right. Okay. I didn't know if there was like any more questions. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. All right. So jumping in the very first question.
Whoever knows it, just shout it out.
Yeah.
Or you can, you guys can, if you have like, maybe if you guys are want to have a separate answer, just come to a final answer. You know.
Okay.
I would like to say I'm so bad at trivia, but let's go for it.
Everybody says that, and they always do really well. Yeah. So you'll be all right.
All right. Question 1. In the movie The Sixth Sense from 1999, what is the profession of the protagonist, played by Bruce Willis?
He's a. Do you know this, Nick?
Is he a child psychiatrist?
Psychiatrist.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
That's actually. I think that's the most scared I've ever been by a movie.
That movie was utterly distressing.
Yes.
That was another movie that jumped off really crazy, and you know, and then it takes you back to kind of how everything ended up being right, in your face in the beginning. But yeah, definitely a disturbing film.
It's so weird you brought that up, because I was just talking about that earlier today about Wahlberg being he lost a lot of weight to do the scary mean ghost guy.
Yeah, it definitely was one of those psychological horrors that just sticks with you for sure.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go back really to the classic horror with this next one. This is a true or false, so this is kind of like a 50-50. So just whoever wants to shout the answer, shout it out. So true or false, Elsa Lanchester played dual roles of the bride in The Bride of Frankenstein, and also the author Mary Shelley in the prologue of the film. Is that true or false?
What do you got, Charles? I definitely know that.
That's true.
That is true. She played Mary Shelley in the very beginning, yes, before they got into the story.
Well, that's kind of cool. And this is Bride of Frankenstein. Is this the one that came out in like the 50s?
40s, I think.
1935.
1935. Whoa, cool.
So going back way classic there to the Universal horror.
It was Chris's first movie that he saw.
Right. Question 3. I'm gonna jump to the 80s for this question. And I know this is such a polarizing movie I'm going to tell you guys about. And some people love it, some people hate it. It's really fun, but I know some people absolutely hate it. I think it's a fun one, but it's House to the Second Story. And I'm gonna ask you about this very polarizing sequel. What hybrid pet do the boys bring back from the past in House to the Second Story?
I've never seen it. Ken?
Yeah, I love it. Charles, unless you know
I was
it.
gonna know this.
I've never even heard of this movie.
Well, there were
You
two.
gotta see it.
There were
Okay.
two pets. So are you have to you're talking about it was like a pterodactyl or something like that, right?
No, I'm not talking about that one.
They're like the caterpillar dog thing.
The
Then.
caterpillar dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Such a weird little dog, but cute at the same time.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
this better than the first one. So
What? Okay.
fight me.
I'm gonna fight. Yeah, I'm gonna fight you on that one. But they're both great. They're both great. I know this sequel gets a lot of heat, but it's a really fun sequel.
Okay, but you guys aren't actually gonna fight, right?
No, not this episode. maybe
No, we still
maybe a
got-
fight to the death here on an anniversary episode.
He
That
wants.
I-
I will put her in the fridge and send pictures though when we're
Okay.
done. So it's just so I'm
Next
a
time,
part of the
I'm
club.
in my fridge, so we're gonna have to do something there. All right.
Question 4.
Question 4. All right. In the movie The Conjuring from 2013, what is the name of the entity tormenting the Perron family? The Perron, I'm not sure how to say I always forget how to say their name, Perron or Perron family. What was the name of that ghost? She was a woman.
It's a good question that I saw that movie. Do you know, Nick?
I don't know that. I don't think so.
No, I'm saying Chris doesn't know.
Horror, do you know?
Oro?
You can ask multiple choice too.
Is Horo asleep? Wake up, Omar.
You
Yeah,
can ask
do you wanna
multiple
do
choice.
multiple choice. Nick,
Okay.
you want to do multiple choice?
Or you can take a hit. You know.
No, let's do multiple choice.
All right. The lifelines are there. I say use them. All right.
Yeah.
So multiple choice. So we have Bathsheba, Delilah, or Elizabeth.
I'm leaning towards Elizabeth.
Oh, you're leaning.
Wait. Say final answer though. Maybe Nick has a different answer.
Yeah, Nick.
That's more
Nick,
correct.
say Delilah. It seems like Delilah is the right answer.
Maybe it's not Delilah.
Maybe it's not. Yes, I'm kind of thinking that. I don't know about that one either.
Nick, we're waiting for you.
You call it, Charles.
So we have
Okay,
Bathsheba. We have
Bathsheba.
Bathsheba. We have I forgot the other two, but we have Bathsheba and
Right.
what were the other two?
Two, you know,
Elizabeth and
Bathsheba, Delilah, and Elizabeth.
Delilah.
I gotta go with Bathsheba. Definitely feels like you're telling me it's Bathsheba.
I know what you're talking about. That was
I
all
don't
you.
know. Ken's
That was all you. 100%.
It's Bathsheba. Yes.
Yes,
Bathsheba.
I knew it.
Good job, Charles.
All right. Oh, question 5. All right. Director Sean S. Cunningham published an ad for what film in International Variety before its script was even finished?
Friday the 13th.
Yes. All right. I love the confidence.
Oh.
It's one of my favorite stories, yeah.
Yeah, classic. Gotta love Friday the 13th. All right. In the Children of, this is question 5. Oh,
6.
6. Question 6. In Children of the Corn from 1984, what do the children call the thing that lives in the cornfield? There's a name for this particular, I guess, entity, presence.
It's like a sentence almost.
Yes, it is a sentence. That's
Oh my god.
Fuck.
It's not oh my god, but
I was literally just watching this the other day, and then I fell asleep before it got.
Was it?
I fell asleep like 20 minutes in.
it is a slow burn in a sense.
It is.
Can we do multiple choice?
I think we already did that one.
Oh, we can only do
That's
one
Sheila
lifeline at a
question,
time?
yeah. We could, I think we
You
have,
can ask Chris, who I don't think knows it,
No, Chris is saying
and
no.
Horo does not know it.
Nick?
Can we get a hint?
You can also postpone it, maybe if you guys want to cheat a little bit, and maybe think about it. And at the end of the show, we'll
translation Google.
yeah. So
Okay.
we'll do that. We'll
Let's
do
postpone.
we'll postpone. So we'll go to 7.
All right, question 7. All right. So this is a multiple choice just by itself, the way I set it up. So this is definitely kind of like an extra lifeline. In the movie The Exorcist from 1973, the demon Pazuzu does not possess what character? Chris McNeil, Father Damien Karras, or Reagan McNeil? Who does the demon Pazuzu not possess? So if you remember, Chris McNeil plays her mom. Reagan is the little girl, and Father Damien Karras is one of the priests.
The mom.
think
Sorry.
it's the mom, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It is the mom. It's Chris McNeil. All right.
Yeah. Because he gets in that priest.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Question 8. What film was the first collaboration between writer-director M. Night Shyamalan and actor Bruce Willis? What was the first film they collaborated on?
Well, I don't think it's Sixth Sense because we already talked about
It
it.
might be.
That was going to be my hint. We kind of talked about it.
Okay, Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
I felt like I thought it was gonna be a trick question.
I thought so too.
Yeah. Glass.
I'm like, everybody think, yeah, I do trick questions sometimes.
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable.
Class, yeah.
Wait, Unbreakable is before Sixth Sense, isn't it?
No, it's
No,
after.
it's after.
Oh, it's after. That was his follow-up?
Yes, I believe. Well, I don't know if that was his follow-up. I don't know the order.
Man,
I think
Children of Corn has 5 out of 10 on IMDb.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow. I didn't write it, people. Don't come at me for all the people that love the movie. I love it. I mean, but it is a slow burn. If you don't like slow burns, that might not be up your alley.
Also, that's what I heard. I didn't Google it.
Oh, okay. Oh,
You
wow.
you heard it. Okay.
I heard that from IMDb. Just texted me that.
Wow.
Yeah, we have it like that. Me and IMDb we're friends.
You guys are tight like that. I get
We're
it.
tight like that. Yeah.
All right, question 9. The Midnight Meat Train, the movie Midnight Meat Train from 2008, was based off a short story of the same name by what author? And if you guys need a hint, I have the perfect hint to give you, so just let me know.
Can I? Nick, do you know?
No.
Give him the hint. Give him the hint. I'm
let's,
curious.
He's also responsible for a very famous horror franchise involving Cenobites.
Clyde Barker.
Yes. Clive Barker. Yes. Don't second guess
Nice.
yourself. He was like thinking about it for a second. I was like, oh, he's going to say it.
And just remember, you guys still have Chris and Omar as a lifeline there if they know it. But you can just ask them too. You could put them on the spot if you guys are drowning, because I like to see that. I like to see that.
All right. Question 10. What Halloween actress from the movie Halloween from 1978, played the protagonist Alana in Terror Train from 1980? I think Chris knows this one, if you need him.
I think Nick might know this one.
Okay.
No, what do you got, Chris? I feel like.
Jamie Lee Curtis?
Is it Jamie?
It is. It's Jamie Lee Curtis.
I thought that was a trick question. I had to try to somehow remember the smaller actresses from the movie.
Yeah. My first guess was Jamie Lee Curtis too.
All right. Well, you guys nailed it. You guys got it. Question 11. Okay, I'm going to go back to a movie that we did on one of our previous episodes. It was a lot of fun. Buffy the Vampire Slayer from 1992.
Oh, I've never seen the movie. Okay.
Yeah.
But maybe I can pull
it'll
from
come to
my
you.
knowledge of the show.
Just some random fact or something you may have heard somewhere, hopefully.
Yeah.
Which Beverly Hills 90210 star plays the boyfriend in the film Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
I know this. Luke Perry.
Luke Perry, yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, he's going to know this.
Yeah. I know everything about Luke Perry.
Me too. So we need to get together and talk about him.
We'll talk about Riverdale.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Love him. Love him. I was so bummed when he passed away. Definitely.
That was a sad one. Yes.
Yes. All right. Question 12. Now, I wasn't sure about this one, so just do the best you can on this one if you haven't seen it. In the movie Oculus from 2014, what does the character of Kaylee mistakenly believe she has bitten into when she bites into an apple? there's a particularly memorable scene in Oculus where the character of Kaylee bites into an apple, but she thinks she's bitten into something else, which would be really horrifying to bite into. And it's glass. I will give you that hint. It's made of glass. She's hallucinating, but.
Who do we have left? Omar?
Yes, Omar is
Was
still.
it a light bulb?
It was a light
Oh.
bulb. I'm thinking Omar is going to know this because it's one of our newer horrors. Definitely Omar. I was like, Omar is going to save the day. All right.
Yes,
Muse.
One time, but I don't feel like I don't remember anything from that movie.
So this is question 13. It's worth 2 points. But before we go to 13, we're going to jump back to question 6, which was the name of the demon that was worshipped in, or the entity, whatever you want to call it, in Children of the Corn.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it came to me.
Oh, okay.
During one of the other questions. Is it? I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce it right. Is it deal?
It's kind of more like a sentence. It's like a really long name. Like it's Ken was right when he said it was a sentence.
Oh wait.
You didn't even cheat correctly.
The way.
I was like me and Ken go, God, you just can't even get that right, Lori. What's going on?
I'm looking through my brain, and I'm not seeing.
I'm
like
dying.
Oh, wait. Is it he who walks behind the road?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I
That
love
just
it.
popped in.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, I'm dying right now.
It's one of the voices from the refrigerator behind him.
Yeah,
Yeah, who's just.
one of the heads in there. Ashley, is that you, Nolan? Listen, question 13 is worth 2 points. Right now, you guys are a perfect 12 for 12 with no help at all. That's all you guys. And cut off heads in the fridge. So, Muse, I know you probably have a question, but I'm gonna
Okay.
take this one because I want to ask Nick this question.
Okay.
What was the name of the band in Uncle Peckerhead?
The main man,
What's that?
the lead band.
The name, yeah, the main band.
The main band is Duh, but the better band is Dominion Rising, which I played the bass player.
I was gonna. Okay, there you go.
Dominion Rising was actually a superior band than Duh.
Was it?
Yes, it was.
I don't know. We'll see. But listen, you guys go 14 for 13. It's one. I think you guys are only one of 5, maybe 4. And we've done, this is our 70th show. So well done. We're going to go through and let you guys talk about what you're working on, what's in the works, and just mention your social media where we can follow you. Charles, what's up with you? What do you got in the works?
Right now, I'm working on a digital series with Comedy Central. It's called Plan of Action. It's I go talk. Every episode will be based on one anxiety or neuroses that I have. And I go and I talk to a therapist about it, and then they give me a list of things that I have to go out into the world and do in order to overcome that anxiety or neuroses. And then I come back at the end, and we see if I don't have it anymore.
It's animated?
It's not animated. No, it's.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, so we shot one before the pandemic. It's out right now on Comedy Central YouTube. It's about hair loss, and we were going to shoot another one about social media, but it looks like it's going to be sometime around January when we can shoot again. So,
oh man, I can't wait.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it too. And my Instagram is charlesgould1, and my Twitter is @middlekidgould.
Metal Kid Gould.
Yeah.
Nick, what are you working on, and where can we find you on social media?
So I got 2 new feature scripts I'm shopping around. I hope to shoot one of them in 2021. One of them is a straight kind of horror home invasion film that is just balls to the wall crazy. And then the other one is a dark comedy that's about a man that becomes terrified of his wife after she kills someone in self-defense. And you can find me at Nick Payne Santos on Instagram and Nick Payne Santos on Twitter.
Nick, that means we're going to have you back on twice then, because I'm interested in those films, man. Listen, on behalf of Where the Scary Things Are, thank you so much, you guys. When can we look forward to seeing the film? I believe it comes out really soon.
So it comes out on Friday the 13th, and
Nice.
then the DVD will be available on January 12th.
All right, listen, listeners, Check out the film It Cuts Deep, directed by Nick Santos, starring Charles Gould, Quinn Jackson, and John Anderson. It is worth your time. We enjoyed it here. Nick, Charles, thank you so much for hanging out with us and going 14 for 13 on The Deathly 13. Until next time, my friends, keep it scary.
Yeah, thank you.